शनैरुपरमेद् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्.
Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else.
Yato yato nischarati मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम् ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्.
From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self.
प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम् उपैति शान्तरजसं ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्.
The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds.
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानम् योगे विगतकल्मषः सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम् अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते.
Thus the self-controlled yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord.
सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः.
A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere.
Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam ca mahi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sa ca me na pranashyati.
For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me.
Sarvabhutasthitham yo mam bhajatyekatvamasthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sa yogi mahi vartate.
Such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the Super Soul, knowing that I and the Super Soul are one, remains always in me in all circumstances.
Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham स योगी परमो मतः.
He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress, O Arjuna.
Arjuna uvacha yoyam yogastvaya proktah samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim stiram.
Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me because the mind is restless and unsteady.
Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram.
Because the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha asamshayam mahabaho manodurnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gryhyate.
Lord Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment.
Asamyatatmana yogaha dushprapa iti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo vaptumupayataha.
Because one whose mind is uncontrolled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion.
Arjuna uvacha ayate shraddhayopetaha yogacchalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kangatim Krishna gacchati.
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist? Who is in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism.
Kachinno bhaya vibhrashtaha chinnabhramiva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimodho brahmanah pathi.
O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fail away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere?
Etanme samshayam Krishna chetumarhasya sheshataha tvadanya samshayasyasya चेत्ता न ह्युपपद्यते.
This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Parthanaiveha namutra Vinashastasya vidyate Nahi kalyanakrit kaschit Durgatim tata gacchati.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Preeta, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil.
Prapya punya kridam lokam ushitva shashvati samaha Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashto Bhijayate.
The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy.
Athava yoginameva kule bhavati dhimatam yetadhi durlabhataram loke janma yadidrusham.
The unsuccessful yogi, after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in the world.
Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurvadehikam yatate cha tato bhuyah samsiddhau kuru nandana.
On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. O son of Kuru.
Purvabhyasena tenaiva Hriyate hyavashopi saha Jijñāsurapi yogasya Shabda brahmati vartate.
By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attached to the yogic principles even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the sculptures.
Prayatnādyatamaнаstu yogi samshuddha kilbishaha aneka janma samsiddhaha tato yati parangatim.
And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal.
Tapasvibhyodhiko yogi Jnanibhyopi matodhikaha Karmibhyaschadhiko yogi Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna.
Your yogi is greater than the ascetic, that is tapasvi or muni, greater than the empiricist, that is Jnani, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi.
Yoginamapi sarvesham madgatenantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yuktatamo mataha.
And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most ultimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavadgita.Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Atma Samyama Yogo Nama Shashtodhyayaha.